Right, in the last video, I told you that we bought the absolute cheapest Triumph Rocket III Roadster on the internet. Since the last video, I've ordered loads of parts. I've also detailed the bike to try and bring back the chrome and the paintwork, and it's sort of worked.
It's good.
What's been really good though is we've been down to Triumph in Cheltenham and they were really helpful. They actually have a record of the bike visiting their dealership, and so we've added 2 more stamps to the service book, now giving the bike a part service history, which is really cool. We've got some important stamps for valve clearance check, plugs, recalls. So the bike is now going from a rough, unknown history bike to a little bit more of a bike that you'd actually consider buying. I've stripped off some parts like these horrible fog lights. Still need to remove the little adapter here. The screws have rounded off at the top.
Oh no.
I know, they're made of Chinesium, so it's just a nightmare. We need to cut.
Is that a fake?
It's Chinese metal, basically. Right, so we need to get that off. And then the other job which I need to do is to deactivate the alarm system. On the alarm system, I am actually really impressed with it, to be honest, because if you had this bike in London or Birmingham or something, you'd be confident in this alarm. It's integrated into the dash. I can see a little alarm bell that flicks red, so we're active. We've got motion sensors. We got little trip switches under the seat, so if you try and get into the bike, it sets the alarm off. Where we are in the countryside, I think I'm going to deactivate the alarm, but I'm going to leave the gubbins in, so if the next owner has this bike in an area where they want to leave it fully secure, very easy to reactivate the alarm system. So the way to deactivate these alarm systems is actually with this little blanking plug, which you fit to the loom. It costs a ridiculous £25 for essentially 2 bridged wires. But as I haven't done this before, I don't really want to fiddle around bridging connections in case I immobilise the bike permanently or something like that. So I think just pay the money, I'll fit this to the loom. Obviously I won't show you exactly how it's done. Right, well, the fog lights are gone. I'm just stuck with this little annoying thing on the handlebars. A variety of different screwdrivers just to see if I can get a little bit of a turn out of this mangled screw. Looks like we're gonna have to drill it out. Right, the most difficult thing probably on the whole project is the fork seals, because the bike's got to come off the ground to get access to them. Now, I tried my normal trick with the jack stand down here, and then you basically jack the bike up and then put it on axle stands. However, it works for the BSA, it's not going to work for 370 kilo rocket, and I'm feeling a little bit nervous about the whole thing, to be honest, because this bike weighs a ton. So I need to do this job. But I have to jack the bike up and it's not going to be that easy. So I could either order a motorcycle lift, but it'll take a few days to get here. So what I'm going to do probably is just use the engine crane and pull the front of the bike up. Now I don't know what to attach the crane to, perhaps the engine bars, though that's a lot of weight to go through 2 engine bars, or perhaps this clamp at the top there as well. Let's give it a go and we'll see what happens when we pull the bike up. All right, before we do the lift, let's stop, take a look at some of the comments that we had on the last video. And interestingly, loads of people were talking about the alarm system. Les actually writes that advice, take off the alarm, prone to fail sooner or later. The data tool system has an internal battery which is past its shelf life, and data tool actually say disable the alarm system. The alarm also will not allow the battery to start if it's below 12 volts. Loads of other people saying that they had alarms on various Triumphs and they were way more trouble than they're worth. So we've done that alarm system, I'm quite pleased about that. One nice comment from Greg, Your wisdom in choosing a wife more than makes up for your questionable Triumph purchase. That's quite funny. Tarragon writes, Kim Jong-sean, Rocket Man. Now that is pretty funny. I'll give him that. That's hilarious. Quite a lot of nice comments actually from the normal community. And then you can kind of see a distinct change as the algorithm pushed the video out to more people. You basically get all the comments coming in about you're a schmuck and all this stuff. Somebody wrote, your bike's worth £1,000 max, mate. Well, I don't think it is, mate. I think it's probably 1,500 quid on a good day. Right, jokes aside, there are actually dealer book prices and buyer's guides which tell you what you should expect to pay for a Triumph Rocket III Roadster. So this article is from 2024 September, so about 9 months old. It's listing a 2009 Rocket 3 at 6,900 at a dealer and 6,500 if you were to buy it in a private sale. Now ours is actually a 2010 model year because it's the Roadster, which is slightly increased torque compared to the original Rocket, and that's saying 7,100 if you were to buy it from a dealer, £7,000 if you were to buy it at a private sale. Now what's counting against our bike, as you've all noticed, is it's in pretty horrible condition. But we do have some things that count for our particular example. It's actually quite a low mileage bike at 16,300 miles. And it's got some tasty extras on there, like the screen, the crash protection, highway pegs, Triumph heated grips, the backrest, and the luggage rack. So I think the actual price will be in between this list price here and the price I paid. Right, let's get on with the lift. Right, well, engine crane, got the balance bar there. I've decided to put these straps around the top mount handlebars, and then I'm going to crank it up basically and see what happens.
Nico, leave that. Sorry everybody, just the dog chewing some sort of tool. So here's the magic moment. Nico, come out the way.
Do you want to come around this side?
Do I want to come out of the way? Yeah. So before you lift a 300 kilo bike up in the air with something that you haven't used for ages.
Yeah.
You talk like this is very normal. This is pretty mental.
Right, here you go. It's starting to go, isn't it?
Oh.
It's going up, right?
Quite impressed that you got that engine crane. It was a gift from your dad, wasn't it?
This was another present from my dad.
Yeah. Equipping you for what was to come.
Yeah.
Years ago, right?
Oh, I've had this for about 10 years and
Yeah.
hardly ever used it.
Look, it's gone. Sorry, while you were chatting, it went up in the air. That's amazing.
Front wheels up. I've got some axle stands to stabilise it. I don't really want to leave it on this the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
It's a heavy
That
old
is
bike.
so impressive.
It's a heavy old bike.
So you were going to do a lift plate, weren't you, or whatever it's called?
A lift, motorcycle lift, yeah, but I feel like this is actually stronger. Oh, the engine crane moved then, do you see that?
Yeah, what the hell? So that's probably enough, isn't it?
That is enough, yeah. Because the engine crane wants to go forward.
We should probably block something behind these wheels.
Yeah. Now, I'm hopeful that'll go under there and just support it.
Okay, so you'll lower it down a little
I'll
bit.
lower it down a little bit on that. Okay.
Oh, she likes it. She likes the sun. Oh, sorry everybody.
Right, that was super nerve-wracking, but we're done.
How are you feeling?
Relieved.
You're enjoying it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Can feel your enjoyment each
Yeah, it
day.
looks like enjoyment.
That's sweat. The beads of sweat on the forehead.
Right, I've just got my 19mm motorcycle axle tool, which I'm going to say is Lextech. 19mm. Put that on there. Put this socket in here and tried to give it some torque, and it's just broken. So now I'm stuck because I can't do anything with that. The only other option, I guess, is to put this on here and just see if that will turn it. Otherwise, we've got to go to the shop and get a 19mm hex. Right, that is the new seals back in. It's way harder than it looks in all the guides and the videos. These seals are so tough to get into position, and you've got to like bang them in and then make sure they're seated correctly and then not damage them in the process. It's actually been a full afternoon on this, but they're in. I'm just going to top up with the new fork oil and then basically reassemble, put it all back together, and then we're done. Right, well, I thought we were done, but it's the following day, and after test riding the Triumph, the fork seals are weeping fork oil.
Oh no.
Which is just so annoying, because although you only watched a small segment of me doing it, it took all afternoon, and this is now an MOT fail because we're leaking oil. So I don't know what I've done. Could be user error, could have not seated the rubber seal correctly. And even more annoying, I used aftermarket seals trying to save a few quid, not genuine Triumph items, and perhaps it's that. So the only thing to do is to have a little look in there and see if I can maybe clean the seal, maybe some debris got into it, and if that doesn't work, then it's redo the whole job again.
But the rest is looking amazing if we look on a positive.
Yeah, well, it rides amazing, goes up and down through the gears,
And all the things you've done so far.
sounds nice.
Yeah,
So,
sounds lovely.
yeah, and like I'll tell you what, spoiler alert, the first 10 minutes I hated this bike, riding it. It's big, the engine's actually strangely vibey for a big triple. I thought it'd be smooth, but then again, after the first 10 to 15 minutes on the way back, I really started to enjoy it, and now I think it's amazing.
Oh, he came back with the most enormous grin on his face.
So I'm now a Rocketeer, and I'm converted to big capacity bikes. I'm actually only joking. I'm joking, this bike's still for sale. Right, under closer inspection, I can see some black scoring marks on the chrome there. And I first saw this, I was absolutely gutted, because I thought, well, something's been caught in between the new seal and the chrome, and it's scoring into the surface. But if I run my finger across it, it's perfectly smooth. There's no indentation at all. And I was reading that sometimes the new seals actually rub a little bit onto the surface, and that's normal. The other thing which gives me a little bit of hope is that the other fork leg has no scoring and it leaks just the same as this one. So at the moment, I'm putting it down to a bad pair of seals, but let me know what you think in the comments. Right, I'm going to end the video there. Thanks for watching. I'm going to order some new seals, and next week we'll have a go at refitting them, see if we can stop this pesky oil leak.